Okay then. Hello everyone. Good evening, guys. Good evening, Subhashini, Tarun, Sham, Drex, Nanda, Utpal. Good evening, guys. Good evening, Positive. Good evening, stay safe. So your names are amazing. So good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. Can you please confirm? Am I audible? Am I visible to you guys? Can you please confirm that once? Okay, hopefully we are live. Okay, that's great. So, yep, guys, good evening, everyone, and I welcome you all to day 7 of this Node.js masterclass. So, guys, today is day 7, or you can also say the second last day of this course. Okay, good evening, Ajinkya. Good evening, buddy. Seeing you after a long time. How are you? Okay, so guys, as I was saying, today is the second last day of this course, and so far we have learned so much. And first of all, on the second last day, I would like to thank you all from my heart for joining every single day and making this particular course this big. Okay, so all of you joined, I can remember your names, all of you joined every day, and right now who are not here, thank you to everyone for joining the course. And guys, today is second last day, and we are going to be learning something really very important, which is called as authentication and authorization. One of the most important things in application development or web development scenario. One of the most important things. Now, why it is important, what exactly is authentication, what exactly is authorization, and you can also see in the title I have mentioned something called as JWT token. Again, one of the very important concepts in API development. So we'll be learning all that. But before that, let's just do a quick revision of what we have learned so far. And let's just recall all those things. So guys, so far we have understood what exactly is the API, right? How an application is made, what part an API plays in the whole application development process, what exactly is the API server, what is request, what is response. We have learned all that stuff. We have understood how many different kind of requests we can send, what exactly is a request URL, right? We have learned all that stuff. We have also learned how to send responses, what exactly is the status code. We have also learned what exactly is a header, right? And we have seen how to handle all that stuff from the core, because initially we used something called as HTTP module to create our first API. In that, we didn't have a real-time database. We used a file system as our database, but we understood from the core. We understood that if a request comes on this URL with this method, how to handle it. If the request comes on products URL with post method, how to handle it. How to handle get method. What exactly is the meaning of course, right? How to handle course issue. So we have seen all that stuff. And then yesterday, by learning all that stuff from previous 5 days, yesterday on day 6, we learned Express, a library which makes API development, API creation much more easier. It's a library built on top of HTTP module, which gives you a lot of functionalities so that you don't have to write everything from scratch. But we also learned it how to write things from scratch, and yesterday we learned how to use Express module and use its functionalities to handle all different kind of requests, handling URL parameters, right? And also we connected it to database and we sent the responses of the data coming from database. So overall, we built a really cool API, right guys? So this is what we have done so far. And today's session is completely gonna be about authentication, authorization, and something called as JWT token, which I'll be introducing you in some time. Don't worry about that. Today's session is all about that and how to give security to your API. See guys, the main concept for today is how to make your API secure. See, now yesterday we created an API, right? So it's working. But the problem with our API is anyone with the proper URL and proper method, anyone who knows my server URL. See, right now it's a local server. So it's okay, like no one can from America can access my server because it's a local server. But what if I launch my API to a server, to a real server, which all the world can access? In that case, my API, if someone knows my IP address or my domain name and proper port number and proper routes, anyone can access my API. Literally anyone, and that's fine. If I want to keep my API public, that's okay. So guys, yesterday whatever API we created, it's public. That means anyone with the proper URL can access my API. Even if I launch it on a server, it can still be accessed. So because it's public. But it's up to us. If needed, we can make our API private, or we can make our API much more secured, so that normally people won't be able to access my API directly. If they want to access, they can log into my API. They can put a username, password, just like Flipkart. See, just like you go on applications like Flipkart, Amazon, right? You cannot buy products until you log in. Some sites tell you that no, first login, then only you can do something, like Facebook. There, without login, you cannot do even one thing. First, register and login, then only you can do something. Now, sites like Flipkart, Amazon, they let you see the products, they let you explore the features, and then only while buying you have to log in. So some sites, they give you everything once you log in. Right? Some sites give you few features by default, like, okay, fine, these are public, you can access them. But only if you want to buy or, add to cart or something like that, you have to log in. So it's like that. So it depends on you. It depends on your project. What kind of security you want. Do you want your whole API to be public? Do you only want some parts of your API to be public that can be accessed normally and some parts to be secured? Right? So it's up to us. And today we'll be learning all that. Is that clear, guys? That is the concept of our API today. So what we'll be doing is, we'll be creating a feature where the user has to log in first. So before login, he will register. That means if someone, so let's say on my API, I have around 20 endpoints, right? Let's say one endpoint is giving products. One endpoint is giving single product. One endpoint is for creation of product. One endpoint is for deletion of product. Let's say out of that, let's say viewing products, I want to do public. So that's fine. Anyone can call it. But creation and deletion should be only done by a valid user. So for that, I will ask the user first, okay, first please log in. So that I can know that you're a valid user of my company or you're an admin or something like that. So that is what we want to achieve today. Either full security or partial security, it depends on your features. But again, let's learn the basics of that. And then you can decide what you want to do. So guys, there are two important concepts regarding the security. That is authentication and authorization. So let's try to understand these two terms first. And then we'll move ahead and start creating the services or the API. Okay. So let's remove this first. Let's try to understand what exactly is authentication. And I think everyone knows it because nowadays in this digital world, everyone is logging somewhere or creating account somewhere. So I think everyone knows what exactly authentication is. But again, let's discuss it. So guys, authentication simply means letting the server or letting someone know who you are. So let's say I go on Facebook, right? So I register myself. I put my username, password, email, date of birth and all that. And now to log in, I go ahead and put my username and password and I click on submit. So now the Facebook will check if this username and password is correct. By doing that, Facebook is checking if this user is actually valid to use my services, to use my Facebook services. That's what Facebook is checking. That is what you call as authentication. Checking if a user is valid. So checking if a user is valid. That is what meaning of authentication. Simple. On Amazon also, you see your products, now you want to add to cart. So you click on login. Now it will ask you, please put your username, password. Right? And it will check if your username, password is correct. If you're a proper user of this particular website, then only I'll let you use the other features. So checking someone, if he or she is valid or not, that is what you call as authentication. And that is the primary part. Before you want to do anything, first prove that you're a valid user. That is authentication. Is that clear, guys? And don't worry, in some time, I'll also discuss authorization. I don't want to bombard everything on your head right now. So let's go step by step. Let's go step by step. So let me go ahead and quickly create a new folder. See guys, again, don't worry. I'm not going to give you all the concepts at once. We'll go step by step. Whenever the authorization will be needed, then I'll explain you. So you'll understand it better. So don't worry. Now then let's go on and let's do this concept first. Okay, because, and see guys, how the concept works. Even if you want to log in, the first thing is you have to register. Now sometimes, some users are internal. That means you don't even have to register. Internally, the admin people or the company people will create your account. Like banks. You don't go and register on their site, right? Normally what happens, you fill a form, you submit it to them. They create your account internally. So it might also happen. They might also create your account internally. That means registration can be done anywhere, directly by the employees in the database, or they will give you a form on the website which you can fill, or like Facebook, you can fill your form and then click on create account. So that is what we call as registration. In our case, what we will do is, we will create one endpoint from where user can register. So let's say we are building an API. Think of it, guys, let's actually, build an idea. Let's say we are creating something like, let's use the old concept only, our old concept that we created the API last time, right? So what we will do is, we'll create a concept, and the concept is, let me open the API first before doing anything. Let me quickly open the API. Wait, yesterday we created an API, right? Let me quickly open that. So let's say my API is a inventory management system or something like a product management system. So we created this API yesterday, right? So this is a product management system API, which has features like fetching all the products, right? Then fetching a single product whenever needed, then creating a product, then deleting a product, and then updating a product. So let's say this is an inventory management system API. But what I want is, right now all these endpoints are public. I don't want that. What I want is, if you want to use my endpoints, if you as a user or any user wants to use my endpoint, first register to my API and then log in, and then only you're allowed. First register and then log in. Okay, that is the concept. So first of all, let's quickly go and let's perform authentication. After that, we'll move on to authorization and tokens. First, let's do the basic stuff. So guys, now what I have to do is, now user will register. So if user register, I also want to store them somewhere. Correct guys? I also have to store them somewhere, right? So let's go. For that, we'll again go in our MongoDB compass and we'll create a new collection where I'll be storing my users, because I already have a product collection in which all my products are stored. That is simply for creating, updating, deleting products, that collection. I need one more collection where I'll be storing my users now, because users will register first. So let's go. And let's build all the features together. So, okay, I already have one users collection. Let me delete that. I don't want it. Let me remove all the extra stuff that we don't need. Drop collection. And also drop this collection as well. So name is users, drop. And now let me create one more collection and we'll call it as users, because the first thing I want to do is registration. Okay, done. Now we know that everything else is done on the API side. So guys, let's push this down. Let's put this down. Let's put all these endpoints down, or all the features related to products down here. Okay, so coding something like related to products. Let's leave it down here. Okay, fine. So it's like creating a function that is called first, then we check condition. Exactly, Rishikesh. Exactly. Same like Facebook, right? First they give you a form, fill it. Only if you're a valid user, then I'll let you go inside. Same on the APIs. You don't want anyone to use your APIs. So first register yourself on my API. Now again, as I said, registration can be done in any way. That is different. But login is important. And for login, I need to know the user. That's why registration is important. Then you perform login. Only if you're valid, then I'll let you access all the other endpoints. By default, you won't be able to access. That's what we want to do here. Is that clear, guys? So first authenticate, then only allow. Cleared, guys, everyone? So let's go. So now see, MongoDB connection is here. All good. Okay. And then after that, whatever is related to products, schema, model, everything, I'm putting it down. Let's leave it there. And now let's work here on users. Okay. So here it is coding related to users. Okay, cool. So first of all, schema for users. Let's go. Const user schema mongoose dot schema, and then simply only few things, guys. We don't need a lot of things, only few things. So let's go. Schema, Utpal, is simply a set of rules and regulations of how your data, your record or your document should look like. That's all. Schema is simply a way of representing how your data will look like. So I have created a product schema here. That means whatever product you're trying to insert or update in my database, it should at least have name, price, quantity, category, property. These are the 4 properties it should have, and these are the rules all those properties should follow. So it is basically a representation of your data, how your data should look like, structure of your data. That's it. That's what a schema is. So here I'm creating a user schema. That means whenever you're planning to insert user, because now users will register, right? So they're going to be inserting data in database. So while inserting data in database, how the user data should look like, that's what I'm mentioning here. Okay. So user should have a name. So that's why name. And then username will be string. Okay. And you can also mention required here, you know. So required true, and error message like name is mandatory. Okay, simple. And then after that you can have one password field, sorry, my bad. Password field, and then again this will be also of type string and also required, so I'm just going to take this. Password is mandatory, and one more field actually. I'm going to call it as username or email. You can also use email as the username, right? So let's have email here, email, something like that. Okay, and email is mandatory. Simple. Type spelling where? Ah, yeah, sorry, I got it. Thank you. And then after this, here we'll also have timestamps. True. That's all. So that every time a record is created, there will be timestamps. Hi Naveen, how are you, buddy? After a long time you're here. How are you? I hope everything is good. So guys, user schema is created, right? Because right now we are working on registering the user. Okay. So schema is done. Now let's quickly create the model. So model for user. Okay. Cool. So now guys, quickly create the model. So const user model equals mongoose dot. Guys, I hope now everyone is familiar with this, right? There's no confusion in doing all these stuff, hopefully. So our collection is users, and our schema that I want this model to follow is user schema. That's all. And now let's create an endpoint to create a user. Okay, everyone, let's go. Endpoint to create a user or new user, something like that. Okay. So guys, it's for creation. So you tell me, post or get or put or patch, which one it will be? Come on. I'm not even keeping delete an option. I hope no one will give that answer. It's for creation of a user. So guys, post, get, put, what? What should it be? Exactly, post. Nice. So app dot post. Okay. And then it should be called on /users, something like that. And here request response. Okay, cool. And now I'm also thinking, should I continue the whole thing in this project or should I create a new project for this? What do you guys say, everyone? What do you guys say? Should I continue in this project only or should I create a new project? What do you guys say? I'm thinking. Like, it will not be complicated, but just thinking. What do you guys say? Should I create a new project? What say? Quickly tell me, because we have just started. We can still copy and paste stuff from here. So quickly tell me. New? Let's do it. I thought of it initially, but I thought that we have already done yesterday a project, so let's do that. But okay, just to give you an idea, I came to this project. But now let's go back. This was just for giving you the idea. So let's do one thing. Let's go in our folder. Okay, and let's create a new folder, and let's simply call it as auth, because we are only learning authentication here. So let's call it auth. Let's put it here, and now let's start a new. Okay, cool. And then let's create a new database as well. Why not? Let's call this database as auth demo, something like that. Okay, but you got the idea, right? Why do we need authentication, guys? Everyone, what are we trying to do here? We don't want anyone to directly access our endpoint. So we are creating an authentication process where they have to register and log in, just like Facebook or Amazon. But that is authentication on websites. Here we are doing it in the API. But at the end, it will be done from the front end. So yeah, okay. And let's call it as users. Okay, cool. Let's go then quickly. So let's do the basic project setup, guys. Now see guys, I'm showing you one way of installing all the libraries at once. You can do npm install. Now we know what we need. We need Express. So Express space, we need Mongoose. So Mongoose space, what else do we need, guys? Do we need anything else? No, not now. So yeah, that's fine. Express space Mongoose. If you need anything else, space, you can just go on like that. And that should be it. Okay, cool. Settled. Everything settled. And yeah, I forgot doing npm init, but don't worry. The basic idea is done. So no issues. You can also do npm init afterwards. So this file will be updated. So npm init. Yes, auth. Done. and author, I'll put my name. No issues. Here we go. Done. Okay. Yes, I didn't say yes. Done. See, the file has been updated now. So no issues. You can also do it afterwards, after installing the things. NodeMon is installed globally, Nanda. Don't worry. NodeMon is installed globally. Now, guys, see, before we move ahead in the coding part, actually, I want to do something. Wait. See, right now, what are we doing? Exactly, I want to explain you that. Now, I have already explained it, but just to give you a whole idea what exactly we are doing, I'm going to explain it again once. Okay. See, so now, right now, what's happening in our case, we might have a front-end application or we might have a testing client, correct? This is my front-end area, either an application or a testing client. So let me mention it. This can be your front-end app, or it can also be your testing client. Okay, anyone it can be. And let's say this is my backend server in which I have different API endpoints. Let's say this is Facebook. Just to give you idea, let's say this is Facebook. Okay, so this is endpoint for registering new user. So this is, let me mention, guys, please understand. Here you'll understand everything because I know some confusions are always there. So this is for registration. Okay. This is for login. This is for, let's say, something like, what can we call it? Registration, login. Let's say this is for create post. And this is for delete post, something like that. Okay, basic idea. Now, understand, see, why I'm doing this, because, sometimes people get confusion front end and back end. That means now, if a testing client or a front end app, doesn't matter, if a testing client or a front end app, if they want to perform create post operation, or if they want to perform delete post operation, the first thing that they should do is login, right? The first thing that they should do is login. Now, if a testing client is doing it, that means people will open the testing client, directly fill data and click on submit. Correct? Send request. And if it is the actual front-end app, people will be having a form which they will fill, right? Getting the idea, guys? If it is a testing client, people will open the client, directly fill all the data and click on send request that we are using so far. And if it is actually a front-end app, there they will be having form, login form, where they will fill data, click on submit, and some code will send the request to login. But again, before login is only possible if you are already a user. That means first thing that they have to do is registration. And then they can perform login. And only if they are logged in users, then only I'm going to allow them to perform create post and delete post. Now just remember this. This is what we are trying to achieve. Okay, everyone? This is what we are trying to achieve. Now let's go. Just wanted to give you one. Now, I know we have understood it. Just wanted to give you one extra line of explanation once more. Because there is one very important thing going on here. So please understand. We'll come back to that afterwards. We'll not make it tough right now. Okay, focus, guys. So let's go. So first thing is, we'll create a new file. Let's call it as index.js quickly. Require all the basic things. And guys, if anyone is new, remember, guys, this is day 7 of this course. So there are a lot of things that we have learned so far. So if you don't understand some things going on today, please watch my previous sessions as well. They will help you a lot. So guys, first of all, Express. Okay. Then we'll go ahead with what? Mongoose. Done with Mongoose now. That's cool. And now, first thing, database connection. Okay, because that is going to be used in my whole application. So quickly go ahead. Mongoose dot connect. My URL is going to be mongodb : localhost : 8000. Sorry, not 8000. Sorry. 27017. It's a Mongo server port number. / my database name, which is what? Auth demo right now. So auth demo. Just a revision, Rishikesh. Just a revision. I'll copy the schema. I'm just doing the connection revision because I've already coded it. So we can copy the schema, or we can also create it. It will just take 2 minutes. So dot then, if it is done, quickly, just a revision. So here we're gonna do actually nothing. We need nothing. If it is done, then simply console.log db connection successful. Okay, I know my spelling is incorrect, but that's fine. And if something happens, catch the error and please print it. Console.log, print the error. That's it. Okay, simple. All set, all good. Now then, guys, let's also create the schema for users. User. Okay, so quickly go ahead. Const user schema. First, I'm doing all the database things. Mongoose dot schema. Only 3 fields: name, username, password. That's all. So name. I'm not going to do any kind of main validation, so I'm going to go keep it very simple. Type string and required true. That's all. I hope you know, right? You can also put your custom message here. We have learned that, so it's okay. Then email, same. Then password, same. Correct, guys, everyone? I hope I don't have to explain you how to give a proper message, right? You know how to do it. We have learned it so many times. I think 2 times in the last 2 sessions. So we can leave it on to this. Only 3 fields, basic validation, done. And then timestamps. So timestamps true, so that we can have the fields like created at and updated at. So timestamps true, done, all set, all good. And now then, let's go for the model. So this is schema for user. And then we're going to be having model for user. So const user model equals mongoose.model. Pass the collection that you want, which is users. As you can see here, user is the collection name. So users, and schema which I want to follow is user schema, which we just created. Simple. Done, guys. Model, schema, database connection, done. Now it's time to use Express to create the endpoints. So to start with that, let me mention here endpoints. The first thing that we need to do is create an Express object so that we can create the server and start creating the endpoints. So first, create an Express object. And normally we call it as what? App. But again, guys, you can call it whatever you want. But mostly app. Express. Done with this. And then create a server and start it. So for that, the function is listen, which creates a server on the specified port number and also starts it. And if the server starts correctly, this callback function is called. To make sure it is on, just put a message in this callback function. Server is up and running. Guys, done with the basic setup, right? See how easy it was? Properly mentioned the 2 packages, then database connection, schema creation, model creation, and then simply Express object and starting the server. Let's run this much to confirm if it is everything is working till now. So node-mon index.js, and yep, see, server is up and running and database connection also successful. So all good. Now it's time to create the endpoint. So let's say, guys, we are doing something like this. Let's say we're also going to have something like this: registration, login, create post, delete post. Now this can be create product, delete product, right? This can be create user, delete user. This can be anything. This can be a dummy endpoint. I don't care. It can be any endpoint. But my main aim is to secure these 2 endpoints. These endpoints should be allowed only if the user is verified. For that, they have to log in. But before login, they have to register. So let's create an endpoint which will help in registration. So guys, let's go. It's for creation of a new user, so it should be a post request. So app.post. Okay. And it should be, let's call it as /register. Okay. Request, response. Okay, simple enough. Now let's handle it. So now, guys, how do we access post data? How do we access data coming in request body? Tell me, everyone. How do we access that? Come on, yesterday we learned it. How do we access the data coming in request body? Let's see if you can answer. Come on, guys, everyone. Let's see if you can answer. Come on, quickly. Chunk, are you sure? Chunk. Yesterday we learned something else. We can do it chunk by chunk, but only if it is normal request. Now we are using Express. right? So we can directly access data in our request.body property. The whole data is already there, converted. But if we want that, the first thing we should do is we have to apply a middleware, right? And the middleware function name is express.json. This middleware's job is to extract data from request chunk by chunk, convert it to JS object, and again give back to the request. So in my actual endpoint, I'll be receiving the data directly. I don't have to do all that process because that process is done by this middleware function. Right, guys? Everyone, I hope you remember. Please confirm that once. So console.log, just to check, request.body. See, if we don't apply this middleware, as we learned yesterday, if we don't apply this middleware, we won't be able to access request.body directly. No, we won't be able to access it. Remember that, guys, please. Okay, then we have to do chunk by chunk logic. We have to extract it by ourselves from the request stream. But if we do this, this middleware do that job for us. It will also do the conversion, so we can directly access it. See, you guys are forgetting it. That means you guys didn't practice anything from yesterday's session. Right, guys? Didn't practice. No issues. I know you'll practice. And send a dummy response so that the server doesn't go on hold. So send. Let's say something like post working for now. Okay? Let's test this endpoint, guys. Let's test this endpoint. And guys, for today, I am not going to use Thunder client. Okay? What I'm going to be using is something called as a Postman, which is also a testing client, nothing else, guys. But it is one of the most famous testing clients. And I think someone from you guys was requesting for Postman. So let's use Postman today, guys, everyone. Because now I think from last 3 sessions, we are continuously using Thunder client. So you know how to use it now, right? Body is a package by express place of writing code to get. Body is a property, not a package. Body is simply a property which is created by this middleware. This middleware accesses your data, extracts it chunk by chunk, converts into JS object, and gives a new body property to your request object. It's a middleware, right? That means it takes the request, performs some changes, and again gives it back to this endpoint where I can access the request. You know, right? Middleware functions and your actual endpoints, they get access to the exact same request object. Right, Utpal? Okay. So this is the middleware. Not a body. How can a body be a package? It's simply a property. Guys, please don't forget the basic JavaScript. Request, if request is object, anything in JavaScript, if you're accessing by dot, it's a property. So request.body, body is a property, but that body property is given by this function. That function, middleware function, before the request comes to this endpoint, it goes to this function. I think yesterday, guys, we learned it in deep, right? Hopefully. Yesterday we learned it. I hope no one is confused, everyone. Hopefully. So if anyone is confused, I would suggest you guys to watch yesterday's session again, because yesterday we understood what exactly is a middleware and how it works. And I also showed you how express.json function might be working internally. I showed you that by writing code as well, right? How it might be working internally. So before the request comes to your main endpoint, it goes to your middleware function, it takes it, extracts data from that request, and then gives it to this endpoint in the form of this property, right? Let's test it now. For everyone who are confused little bit, and if you're new, please, you have to watch my yesterday's session as well. Okay. Now, guys, time to test it. So let's use Postman, everyone. Let's use Postman. So to get Postman, you can simply go online and search for Postman download. And guys, that's also simply a testing client, that's all. So you can simply go on this website, first one, Postman download, and you can download it for free for Windows. Okay, download it and install it like a normal software, that's all. Download and install it like a normal software, and that should be it. Once you install it, simply search for Postman in your PC, open it, and here we go. It's open now. And see, you'll see, it is exactly like Thunder client only. Do you want to allow public and private network? Yeah, fine, okay. I'll allow Postman. And see, guys, it looks exactly like your Thunder client. Don't worry if it is too much, because Postman is a big software. It does a lot of things, but we are not interested in that. What we are interested in this. just go here, okay, and click on this plus, and that's it. You'll get this option. See that, everyone? See that? Same logic. Same thing. Get, post, put, patch, delete, URL. Click on send. You can see your params, headers here, body here. See guys, exactly same, right? A response window, a request window, sending data as raw JSON. How do you want to send it? Exactly same. Just showing you, you can guys, you are free to use Thunder client till now. You can use it completely. I also don't use Postman a lot now, but just wanted to show you that something like this is there, which a lot of companies use. Okay, so let's send a request from here then. Okay, so it's going to be a post request. My address is http:// localhost 8000 / what's the route name? Register. So let's go register. That's all. And see guys, no params, no query parameters, no authorization, nothing like that. See, headers in Postman, also in Thunder client. In Thunder client also guys, there are some hidden headers. As I told you, it sends it, but it doesn't show you. In Postman, you can see it. If you click on this, you can see all the hidden headers that Postman is sending, and that's fine. You don't have to remove any of this. Leave that. These are internal headers which the Postman is sending for some dealing with the server. You don't have to worry about it. If you want to send any of your own header, you can send here. Is that cleared? Thunder client also sends, as I told you earlier also, Thunder client also sends some internal headers, but you don't have to worry about it. Leave that. Now, in body, which kind of data you want to send? Form data, URL encoded, binary. We want to send raw data, raw JSON. See, in Thunder client, you directly get option like this. If you click on new request, see, so here you can select post, you pass URL, right? And same logic. See, some internal headers. Even if you remove them, it still goes internally. Even if you remove it, it still goes. So doesn't matter. And here in body, we write our data. Okay, and here we directly have an option of JSON. Here we have to go to raw and select JSON from here. That's the only difference. And now you can type your data here. So let's type a data. Name, I don't know how much I can zoom it now. I hope it's visible, guys. Name, let's say Saurabh. Then email, let's say S Gupta. And guys, why can't I see the charts? Okay, now I can see it. sgupta@gmail.com, something like that. And password, let's say S Gupta, easy one. Is that clear, guys? Everyone understood? Same thing we do in Thunder client as well, correct? Everyone, can you please confirm once? And now simply send. So just like Thunder client, guys, nothing different. In Thunder client also we'll do the exact same thing. We'll just go there, you know, post, write the proper URL, put this data here, same thing, exactly same. Okay, but here in body we directly have the option of JSON. Here in body you have to select raw and then JSON. And now let's send. And here we go, guys. Post working. Now we have not inserted it in database. Difference between both, see, both of them are exact same thing. It's like you're asking difference between Lifebuoy and Dettol. Both are soaps, exact same use, right? But from different companies, from different providers. Same thing. Postman, Thunder client are exactly the same thing. They are testing clients. It's just Thunder client is more handy because it's inbuilt in VS Code. Postman is a separate software. But yeah, because it's a separate software, it has some extra features as well, like collaboration. You can do team collaboration and all that stuff. It's a high-level tool. So basis is same. It's a testing tool. But you can do team collaborations. Multiple people can work at the same directory and all that stuff. And you all can see. So if I'm doing something, I can share this thing to you. And you can also see the exact same thing. So a tool where multiple people can work together remotely. That's what Postman is. Exactly like React and Angular. Same things. Okay. So guys, just wanted to show you that it is like this. Okay. So now let's go and see, guys. The data is coming here. You can see in console the data is here. So everything is working. Okay. Everything is working. Can we send mail address in header? Yes, why not? You can. But why do you have to send mail address in header? It's possible. You can send some extra data in headers, but I think you should not send mail addresses in header. It depends what kind of thing you want to do, Tejas. Possibility is there, but there should be a reasoning. Why are you sending mail address in header? Because header should not be used to send content, right? For content, you should either use URL or you should send it through the body. Okay, Tejas? Okay, no issues, guys. Now then, let's move ahead. And now, guys, what do you want to do? We want to insert this data into database. I hope we know how to do it. We have the model. We have to use that model. So let's go. User model dot, the function is create. In create, just pass the data. Request dot body. And if you want to keep it clean, you can first store it in a variable like let user equals request dot body. Okay. So now your object which was coming in body is stored in this variable user, and you can pass that user here. That's it. And then simply go ahead. It also returns a promise. So dot then, you know, you will get your user back. So let's call it as doc. But I don't want to send user back. I simply want to send a simple response like response.send a message. Why am I converting it to JSON? It's fine. I can send it directly now. Message user registration successful. And if some problem has happened, then dot catch, see what's the error, print the error for the user. So console.log the error for the user. No requirement. Yeah, we should validate. But right now, Tejas, we are doing only from testing client, right? We are only doing it from testing client. That's why we are, see, we have a validation. We have a database validation. So as I said, you can perform multiple kind of validation. So the main validation will be done on front end. And here we also have a database validation. We are not doing any validation in the API as of now. As of now, we are not doing it. But in the project that we'll be doing, in that we'll be doing it. We have just started it. That's why we are only doing database validation as of now. And we'll be also doing front-end validation when we create the front-end application. But right now, we are not doing the API validation, the coding validation. Right? We can have multiple levels. We are working with only one level right now. Because we are just creating this API for testing, not for the actual use. That is the reason. But yeah, we'll be doing that coding validation as well. But technically, normally you will not need it because you are doing database validation as well as the front-end validation. Right? So normally you won't need it. What if I use insert one? No, you can't use insert one. I don't think so. You have insert function for model. You have create and save, only two functions. Because this is not your MongoDB collection, Drex. So some methods are different. You cannot use insert one. I think you don't have anything like insert one in Mongoose. Mongoose gives you create functions and save function. Only two ways of creation, not insert one. Hopefully. I've never checked it, but last time I saw it was not there. Is it clear, Drex? Buddy, I hope you got the idea. So you have create and save. Okay. I have to check if they have updated something and they have got insert one. So log the error and send a dummy response. I have to check if Mongoose has insert one because I'm not sure about that. I have to check. It's available directly in MongoDB in terminal. Directly in MongoDB query language, not in Mongoose. Some things in Mongoose are different. Okay, so let's just simply print some problem. That's all. So guys, done with it. First endpoint created, right, everyone? All set, guys? Cleared any confusion? First endpoint is created. Let's test it. So now again, let's send this request. So 1, 2, 3, send. And here we go, guys. User registration successful. And now if you check your database, you have the first user, name, email, password. Cleared, guys? But right now, we have one issue. We have one issue, very big issue. And the issue is, guys, if the owner of the database or owner of the company sees our database, he can easily see my password. And what if the person wants to use your password? Getting the point, everyone? This is very bad. Like, now he or she can also log in and do something with your account. So guys, password should never be inserted in database like this. Any other data is fine, but password should never be inserted in database in a plain text format. Because what if the database owner or the developer, not even the owner, let's say I'm the developer working on an application for someone so company, and I open their client base and I can see all the user password. I can log in and do anything then, right? Bhaiya, can you explain difference between schema and model? Schema is a structure. See, let me just give you idea, Tejas. See, schema is simply the structure which validates how the data looks like. So it's a structure which tells how the data should look like. That's all. Okay, that means the data that you're going to be inserting for user collection, it should have name, it should have email, it should have password. Simple. And there should be type string. That's all. Model is an object which connects your collection, which is inside the database, and the schema. So it's an object which gives you a reference of that collection. It's an object which actually gives you all the functions which you can use to work on the collection that you have in your database. So in database, you have a collection called users, but you cannot directly access this collection from your Mongoose, from your Node.js. So this model object is a connection between your collection and your program, which lets you connect to the collection. So now you can use this object to do stuff. You can use the model object to create, update, delete. And whatever you do with this object is directly happening on the collection. It's a reference of a collection. You can think of it like that. It's just a reference of the collection, because you cannot use the collection directly. And second parameter, while creating the model, so first parameter is you tell the model that model, you are going to be connected to this collection. And while doing things, you have to follow this schema. So while entering data in the collection, updating data in the collection, you have to follow this schema. It should have name, mail, password. That's what it is. Simple. No. Yeah, you can say that. Yes. But model is simply an object which is referenced from the collection. You should not say model is the collection of documents. Collection is the collection of documents. Model is simply a representation of a collection. It is not actually having the documents. It simply helps you to access the collection. Is that cleared? It's like a mediator between your collection and your program. Got it? A representative of your collection on the program world. Is that cleared, Tejas? So guys, as I was saying, in your database, it is not good to store your passwords in a plain text format. As I said, anyone's minds can be corrupt and they can use your password. And that's why you should never store your password like this. But you have to store your password, but not like this. So now what we have to do is, we have to do something called as encryption of the password, where the user will put their password in simple format, but in the coding, we will encrypt it in a way that no one can read it. So we'll perform encryption of the password. It will be converted to a cipher text. Cipher means encrypted text that not even me or a developer or the encryptor can also understand. No one can understand it. So we have to encrypt our password. Is that clear, guys? Understood the idea? So not the owner, not the developer, not me. No one can decrypt it. No one can understand what's going on. Only the person who wrote it, they will, if they remember it, it's okay. If they don't remember it, then they have to change the password. Even they cannot decrypt it. No one has the right to decrypt it. Again, it's up to me. I can create such an application where it is possible, but no, we don't do that. As developers, we follow sincere rules and regulations. If I do the other stuff, where in front I show your password is safe, and in the back end I'm decrypting it, then I'm doing some kind of hacking or phishing. And that's wrong. That's illegal. Okay. Is that clear, everyone? Got the idea? So let's go ahead and let's see how to encrypt it. Now guys, for encryption, we again need a library. We again need a module in Node.js. Okay. First of all, guys, are you cleared with what is encryption? We'll convert our normal password into an encrypted text that no one can read, a cipher text. That's what you call as encrypted text. Okay. And for that, there's a library called as bcrypt.js, which we have to import. See, it's available on npm.js site. This is what we need. bcrypt.js. Okay. It's a JavaScript based library. Okay. So we have to use this one. So first of all, let's quickly install it. So all the things you can find here. Cipher, CIPHER. CI, I think it's CIPHER. Okay. So guys, we have to go here, stop the server for a second, and let's install it. So npm install bcrypt.js. And guys, bcrypt.js is not the only library. There are many more libraries. Okay. But I'm using this one because I use it a lot and it's easier to as well. So done. It will just install it. And all said, guys. Now you have bcrypt.js in your project. Okay. Now you can also find how to use it here. It's that simple. You can also easily find how to use it here. Is that clear, guys? It's very easy. Just curious, how will we what? How will we do manually? What? Decryption? First of all, say decryption is not possible. Decryption is not possible. Is that cleared? Okay. So see, what we are going to be doing is, we are going to be hashing the password. Not only encrypting, we are going to be hashing the password. See, you have to search difference between hashing and encryption. So you understand this. Encryption is the process of scrambling plain text into unreadable ciphertext, which you can decrypt if you know the rules, if you know what's going on internally. Hashing turns plain text into a unique code, which cannot be reverted. So we will be actually not encrypting. See, it is generally called as encryption, but what we'll be doing is hashing. You should always hash passwords, not encrypt. See, generally the term is encryption, guys. So we call it encryption, but technically we always hash it. Hashing can never be reversed. That means you cannot reclaim your password. That's why, guys, on all the sites, if you forget it, change it. You cannot reclaim the password. Is that clear, guys? So encryption can be decrypted, not hashing. Hashing can never be decrypted. Hashing algorithms are like that. Again, if someone tries, I think it will take years for decryption. By that time, either the account will be dead or the user will change the password. That's why all the sites suggest you, after every 1 year, 2 year, please change your password. Please change your password. But technically, it's not possible. It's almost impossible to decrypt a hash, because they don't create, in hashing, they don't create those algorithms for decryption. They only create encryption algorithms, hashing algorithms. Is that clear, guys? But I'm not saying it's impossible. I don't know, in this world full of certainties, anything is possible. But again, it will take a lot of time, so don't worry. Like, anything is possible, guys, but we still have to do what we do, right? Cleared? So what we are going to be doing is hashing, not encrypting. The general term is encryption, but we'll be doing hashing. So now see, guys, here you can see everything. Okay, I'm going to show you the important points. First, import it. Okay, so let's go and import. We have installed it. So require, the name of the package is bcrypt.js. So bcrypt.js. I'm showing you how to read the documentation and do it. Okay. So bcrypt.js, because I also don't remember exactly how it works. So I always figure it out how to do it from the internet. I almost remember everything that I'm coding, almost. But sometimes, I don't use the libraries from a lot of time, so it happens. So it's okay. Sometimes you have to refer some code. And it's okay. While doing it live, it is needed. Okay. So now then, guys, first of all, let's go in our database and let's delete the old data. Delete it, because it's not safe. And now come back to this. Now we have required it. Now see, online, and guys, I'm going to use Postman only. Okay, where's my, yeah. Now see, there are two ways. There is the synchronous way, and there is also asynchronous way of doing encryption or hashing. I am not going to be using the asynchronous way. Why? Because if it takes time, it will block my code. I don't want to do that. So that's why, leave that. Again, guys, it's fine. You can do synchronous, but I don't follow the synchronous a lot. So I'm going to do it in the asynchronous way. Okay, that we always use. Everything that we are doing so far is asynchronous. So we will follow the asynchronous way. So now if you read it, guys, see, there are two functions. First, you have to call the function called as gen_salt, which means generate salt. Salt is like a key, which you mix while hashing. So guys, salt is simply like a key which you mix while hashing. That's why it's called as a salt, because you're using it in a mixture. Getting the point? So it's a random text which will be generated internally and used internally. Is that clear, guys? Everyone? That's all. Okay. So what we have to do is we have to generate a salt. And see, this 10 here means how many number of rounds you want the algorithm to work to generate a really a unique salt. So 10 rounds, 5 rounds, up to you. This is the number of rounds the algorithm will work to generate the salt. Is it clear, everyone? So first let's call this function. Let's do it in our own way, so no issues. So guys, please focus, everyone. So bcrypt.js. Also guys, why to give it so big name? It's a complicated name. Let's simply call it as, you know, something like bcry, something like bcry. That's it. Or just bcrypt, as they have named it online. Sounds much more better. Okay. So bcrypt dot function is generate salt, in which first you have to pass the number of rounds. See, it is mentioned, it's rounds. So let's say I'm also saying 10 rounds. Okay, it's safe, 10 rounds. Then it has a callback function in which you get two things. If there was some problem, you will get an error. Otherwise, you will get your salt, which is nothing but a unique text. That's all, guys. So now here I'm going to say if there is no error, if not error, that means if there is no error, then what? Now guys, my password is available in this object, right, everyone? We know our password is available in this object. This user object is having three properties: name, username, password. My password in the form of plain text, it's available in this, correct, in the user object. I want to get that password and encrypt it. So now after that, what is the next step? So inside, after generating the salt, you'll use one more function called as hash, in which you have to pass a dummy text or a secret key or something like that, and then your salt that you have generated. So let's go. And not dummy text, guys, it's actually a password that you want to encrypt, or sorry, hash. So see, the parameters are hash, the password that you want to hash, the salt, and then it's a callback function which gives you return the hash password. Okay. So guys, let's do one thing. For some time, let's comment this whole thing that is happening so that we can see what's going on. So response.send, a dummy response so that the server doesn't hang. So just something like working. And let me show you now. So if it is all set, sort is generated, then bcrypt dot hash. Now first parameter is the string password, the password that you have. My password is available in this user. So user dot password. Cleared, guys? I'm passing that. Okay. Comma, the salt, which is available from here. So pass that here. Salt. Comma. Here you'll have a function in which either you'll get error if something happened, or you'll get the npass, which is I'm calling as new password. You can also call it as hash. So let's call it h password, hashed password. And then if again no error, not error, then simply let's print the hash. So console.log hpass, just to show you. So guys, got the idea on what's going on here? Everyone, can you read this code and understand what's going on? Now we are at a big level, guys, so we have to do things like this. Okay, so simple idea. Using the bcrypt library, generate salt, pass it through 10 rounds, then give a salt to me. If there was no error while generating the salt, then hash what I want to hash, my password, so which is available in user. So user.password. Take this, hash it with this salt, and give me the new pass. And if there is no error, I'm just simply printing it. Let's test it now. So now guys, you see, here I'm passing password as sgupta. Let's see what happens with it. Send. Could not. Oh, my server is off. Sorry. Let's run the server quickly. Guys, time to test it. Send. You got the response working. That's not the case. What we want to see the console. And see, guys, what happened with your password. See that? Everyone. Understood, everyone? Can you see that? What happened here? So now this is your password. This is the hashed password. And this is what we will store in our database. Got it? I hope you got the whole idea, everyone. Okay? And to read more about what is happening here, you can always come to this particular library. Okay? And here, see, hashes are of 60 characters. So you have got a 60 character password. and that's even unreadable, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so you got a 60 character password. Why I'm showing you this? Because in MongoDB it's fine, but if you're using some other database like MySQL or something like that, there you also have to mention the length, right? Field length. So there you have to mention it for holding 60 characters. Okay, all cool then, guys. Now, see, please understand. Done. Everything is done. Now we are again doing JavaScript. So guys, can't I just do this now? I know that we have this object user, which was having 3 properties. I passed one of its properties for encryption, hashing. Now I know that in this I have the new password, encrypted password, hashed password. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to again access the property, that user's property, password property, and I'm going to change it with this new password. This is plain JavaScript, guys. I hope you know. I can change any object's property like this, right, everyone? Hopefully you know this. We can change any object's property like this. Okay, and again, if you're confused, first of all, watch my JS sessions. Second of all, I'll show you something. Wait. Say, guys, if I have an object like A equals name equals Saurabh and city equals, again, guys, it's some JS concept. So if I have something like this, name Saurabh, city Mumbai. So now A is an object which is having name Saurabh, city Mumbai. If I want to change that object city, I'll just do a.city equals Pune. Just access the property and pass the new city. And now if you check A, see the city has been changed to Pune. That means if you ever want to change a property of an object, you just have to access that property and change it with the new one. So initially it was having Mumbai. I printed it, you can see it's Mumbai. Then I said a.city should become Pune. And if I print A now, city becomes Pune. Same thing. Initially in my user, it was having the password which was coming in the request. That was S Gupta. Then after performing encryption, I said now the user.password. So just like a.city, user was having a password property. Fine, user.password should be this new password. So the old password which was having in here, which was S Gupta, will now be changed to this new password, hpass. And now after, see, and you know, right, you saw it here. When you change the object's property, the whole object is new now. We have a name and we have a city which is new. The whole object is new. And that's what we want to insert now. So now we'll take this whole thing and we'll put it here. So once the encrypted password is generated, then perform the insertion logic. And that's it, guys. That's all. See now your registration will look quite big. But don't worry. It's simple to understand. So if a request comes on register, let me explain it to you. If a request comes on /register, all good, no issues. Take the body data, then generate a salt, okay, hash the password which is in the user object, okay, then you'll receive a new password which is encrypted, hashed, and then change the user's password property with this new password, and then insert it into the database. And that's all. Is that cleared, guys? Everyone? Are we cleared with this or not? First endpoint done. Hopefully. Let's test it now. Let's go to Postman. Okay, you can see it's S Gupta here. Send. And here we go, guys. User registration successful. Let's check our database. And here we go. See that, guys? Our password is now encrypted. See, everyone? All good. Got it? Guys, that's how you do it. Okay. Now even if someone directly hacks the database, they still can't understand what's the password. Not the developer, not even the owner, not even a hacker. No one will know what is the password now. Understood? That's how things work. So you have done your first step in authentication, which is encrypting the password while registration. And now we are good to go for the login. Done with registration. Now add as many properties as you want. Doesn't matter. Now guys, let's do few more registrations. Let's insert few more users. So I'm going to insert Nanda as well. So Nanda @gmail.com, and let's say password will be Nanda as well. Guys, why I'm putting simple password? So that we can remember it. Because if we forget, then we don't have any way of remembering it. Okay. So 2 users. That's cool. Okay, you'll have two users. You can see both the passwords are encrypted, and they are unique, guys. Don't think that they are same. Both of them are unique. Okay, so two users with two different passwords, unique passwords. Love this part today of authentication. Thank you so much, Imaz. Thank you so much, buddy. And guys, also if you're new, please don't forget to subscribe, guys. Help me reach 2.5k at least by December. Let's see if we can reach. Show me your power. And if you're enjoying it, then only up to you again. But let's go. Anyway, let's go. Our aim is to learn, so let's go. Okay, guys. So done with registration. Now then, let's move ahead to login. So endpoint for login. Now guys, in login, remember, in login, what do we have to do? User will send, so I want my email to be username or email. So I want the user to log in through, email and password. So I'm expecting email and password. Okay. So let's go. And guys, login will also be a post request because the person is going to send email and password through body. Please, guys, login can also be a get request. But if it's a get request, that means you'll be sending email and password through URL. You tell me, is it safe to send email and password through URL? No, right? Because people can't see the password. You don't want to show everyone the password in the URL. That's why, guys, login should always be a post request. Because you are gonna send some data and you want to send that data through request body. So that's why it should be a post request. We can make it work with get, but in that case, it will be visible in the URL. So don't do that. So app.post. So even though you are not performing any creation, so login is, I think, the one and only endpoint where even though you are not performing any creation, it is still a post endpoint. Logins are always mostly post endpoint. Even though you're not performing any creation, it's an exception. Think of it like that. So app.post, let's call it login. Request response. Okay. So guys, what do we do in login? Very simple. We simply check that the username and password which is coming from the user from the front end is matching with the username and password in my database or not. That's it. We simply compare the username and password coming from the user with the username and password stored in the database. Is that clear, guys? That is what we do. That is what we do. Simple. We simply compare the username password coming from user with the username password which is stored in database. If they match, all good. If they don't match, wrong. That's the logic. Okay, everyone. Remember that, please. So first of all, let's check this endpoint if it is working or not. So again, people are going to send data through request body. So let's print that. Request.body. Now guys, again here have to focus. Okay, you have to focus completely here. Please, please, please. I want you guys to focus. Okay. And then just a dummy response. So response.send dummy, or just something like login working. That's it. Okay. Let's test this endpoint quickly. So again in Postman, create one more endpoint. It will also be a post request. http:/localhost, but this time it will be login. And now guys, we'll go in body, raw, JSON, and we'll pass only email and password. So email, we know we have a sgupta@gmail.com. And password will be only sgupta. First of all, let's see if this is going there, email and password. You got the response, login working. That means something is happening. Okay, that means something is happening. So let's go and check if we have it in the console or not, because we have logged it, right? We have logged the request body data. That means if this body data is coming in the API, it should be logged. And here we go. See that? It's here. So guys, endpoint is working. Data is available. Now, remember guys, you want to compare if there is one person in our database with this email and this password. So it's a simple operation. You can do user model dot find one where email matches this and password matches this. If we find a user, that means there is a user, so you are valid. If you don't find any user with this email password, that means you're invalid user. That's the logic, right, everyone? That is the logic. That means if you find a single user who is having this email and this password, valid user. And if you don't find a user with this email and this password combination, it's the invalid user. But the issue is, the user is sending the password in normal format. And in your database, the password is stored in encrypted format. So how are you going to compare now? That's the main issue. How are you going to compare? Secondly, it's a hash. It cannot be decrypted. So now how are you going to compare? Don't worry. Just like bcrypt gives you an option of hashing, it also gives you an option of comparing. So for that, guys, again, if you go to this online web page, and you'll see here, for comparison also, you have this. Yep, you have this bcrypt.compare, in which you simply have to pass your plain password, which we are getting, your hashed password, which will come from database, and that's it. It will only give you error or result. That means you are not doing anything, no decryption, nothing. Simply your password and an encrypted password, and everything is happening internally. And guys, internally also, no decryption is happening. No, it is compared based on algorithm. There is no decryption. That means no one can see the password. Is that clear? Okay, so no decryption. You know what happens? Internally, this is also hashed, and both the hashes are compared. No decryption happens. That means no one can see the password. Okay, and if there's some issue in the comparison, some error, if no issue, then the result. And result will be true. Exactly. So guys, you again have to use a compare function in which you'll pass the current password that you're getting in login and the hash password which is stored in database. So let me show you the process of how to do it. Ready, guys? Everyone understood the idea? So the first thing that we will do is, based on the email, we'll fetch a user. Based on the email, which will fetch a user. So first of all, guys, let's do this. Let user cred, let's call it as user cred. That means user credentials. Okay, because we know that in this request, we are only getting email and password. So let's store it in a variable called as user cred, in which we have email and password. Nice. Now, first of all, the base process is, based on the email, fetch the user. Guys, we can do it, right? Exactly, Rishikesh, exactly. So we don't decrypt and compare. We hash this one also and then compare. We never decrypt. We never ever decrypt. And both the hashes will be different again, but the comparison will be done based on some algorithm. That means no one can read the password. Okay. So now, guys, first of all, base idea, get the user based on the email. So for that, guys, how do we do it? User model dot. Now, guys, we know that for a single email, there will be a single user. We know that. So find one. Don't do find. Find one. Find one where the email of the user matches the email which I have in this user cred, which is coming from the testing client or from the front end. Is that clear, guys? So find one user where the email of the user matches the email which is coming in the request. So if we find it, so first of all, if the find was successful, then you'll get the user here. And if something happened in the find, then there will be some error. And for that, we'll just print the error. So console.log the error and send a dummy response. Response.send message some problem. Okay, that's it. Remove this one now. And guys, see, also remember, sometimes for a given email, the user will not be there. But don't think that's an error. That's not an error, because your query is successful. See, guys, this error only comes if there was some issue while finding. There was some issue. If you have given a wrong email and there is not a single record with that email, that's not an issue. Your query is still working fine. So you will get a blank object in that case. Remember that, guys. You'll get a blank object. Let me show you. So let me print. So guys, whenever find one is performed, you're passing the comparison idea. If a user is found, that user will come in this variable. If nothing is found, this variable will be empty. Okay. If nothing is found, that's not an error because query is still correct. There was no data, but query is correct, right? Only if something happens, some issue happens, some internal error happens, then only catch works. So don't think that catch will also work if no user was found. No. Finding no users is still correct because query is fine. This catch is only for if this query goes wrong. Okay. So let me print the user and also a dummy response. Something like post working. Okay, just to test, guys. Login working. Okay. Now let's see what is coming in this user for a given email. Okay. So guys, let's test it. Let's go in Postman. Now we know that for this email we have a user, correct? So let's send it. Okay, see login working, and if you see the console, you got the user. See that, everyone? You got the whole user back, right? When you perform find one, you get the whole user back, and you got it. See that, guys? ID, name, email, password, everything, you got it back, which is stored in this user. And let me show you. If you pass a wrong email, some mistakes in this, let's say. Now see what happens. See, still login working. But now in your console, you'll see what we got back was a null. That means nothing was found for that. That means this variable is null. Understood why I said that this catch is not for if the user was not found, error will happen. No, it's okay if user is not found. Query is still correct. This catch is only for if the query goes wrong. So if you don't find anything, the object is null. That means what we have to do is now, you have to do this. If user is not equal to null, then user was found. So we'll send a response saying user found. Else a response saying user with this email doesn't exist, or wrong username. That's also fine. Let's do that. Why are we putting this much big thing? Wrong email. Understood, guys? Everyone got the idea? So now let me show you. See. So if I send this, see that? Wrong email. And if I send a correct email now, user found. We are yet to compare the password, but at least user is found. Now, if the user is found, that means we are doing this. First, check if there is any user with this email. Yes? Okay. Now then check the password. Now check the password. So now if the user is found, that means if user is not equal to null, if it is found, now we'll check the password. And now we know, guys, the password which is sent by the front end, it's available in this user cred. And based on the email, we also fetch the user. So the encrypted password. So guys, the hashed password is available in this object, as we saw by printing, right? See? The hashed password is available in the fetched object from database, and our password is available in this. So now we have to compare. So if the user is found, bcrypt dot compare first your password. So user cred dot password, which we are receiving from request from front end or from testing client, comma my hashed password, which is available in this user dot password. Okay, see guys, the field name is password. Okay, so this user dot password. Please compare both of them and then either error or result. So if result is true, we are sure that the connection, like, it is success. So if result is equal to true, then we'll simply say login successful. Now it's correct. Response.send message login success. Else message incorrect password. That's it. Now check it out. Let's go. Here we go. Send and see, guys. Oh, there's some issue. What happened? Crashed. What happened? What happened? What happened? Oh, guys, see. Our variable name is also res. Response variable name is also res. And here also I'm calling it res. So better it's, let's call it result. Got the idea? My program got confused. So let's call it a result. I named two variables exactly the same. Save it. Okay, now it should be done. So now if I send it, see guys, login success. Now, wrong email. So we get wrong email. Okay, correct email but wrong password. Any password? Incorrect password. And if it is correct password, then login success. So guys, your complete registration and login system is built now. It's done. Got it, guys? So now you're able to register with proper encrypted passwords, hashed passwords, and now you're also able to log in. And now it's up to us what we want to do after login. Don't worry, I'm also going to teach you that. But guys, first step towards authentication is done. So guys, are we cleared with this, everyone? Are we cleared with everything till now? Guys, can you please confirm that? And I think you guys are enjoying, right? Are you guys enjoying or not? Let me just have some water till then. And you tell me, are you guys enjoying or not? If you are, please guys, if you're new, subscribe to the channel and also like the video as well. Show me how much you're enjoying and understanding everything. Show me by doing the likes. Okay, cool. Now then, let's move ahead towards the important things. Again, everything was important till now, but now guys, let's go back to normal. So let's go back to our browser because now we need to understand something very, very, very important. Now see guys, so far we have already learned that our front end will be on different server, correct? Our back end will be on different server, correct guys? We have learned it. Our front end, our back end, and our database, they are three different places. They have three different origins. That means you can treat them like three different applications. Our API is a separate application in itself. Our front end will be a separate application in itself. Okay, try to understand guys. Okay, so our API is a completely different application and our front end will be also a completely different application. That means they are not combined together. It's simply like this is one front end application. So if I have to explain you this, see, this is our front end and this is our back end server. So this, how they are working? Front end is sending a request, API is sending a response. They are not connected. Simply it's like this. It sends a request, closes the connection. It sends a response, closes the connection. See guys, they are working on HTTP protocol. And HTTP is a stateless protocol. That means it goes, does the job, and ends. HTTP is a stateless protocol. Okay, that means it doesn't have any state. It goes, does the job, and closes. That means the front end sends a request and closed. The stream is closed forever. The server sends a response and the stream is closed forever. And from a single API, multiple front-end sources can also communicate. This can also do the exact same thing. This can also do the exact same thing. And this can also do the exact same thing. Getting the point, guys? Getting the point, everyone? Previously, this was not the case. If you go back 10 years, this was not the case. At that time, guys, front-end and back-end were created together. There was only one single server where front-end and back-end were working always together in a single server. But there were issues at that time. That means you cannot have a separate backend, you cannot have a separate front end. Even though they are called as front end backend, they were created, basically you have to integrate them to work with them. So they were working collectively, not separately. And the problem was, then the same backend cannot be used with any other front end because it's already integrated with one front end. And the same front end cannot call any other thing because it's already integrated with one backend. Okay. So at that time, backend front end were together. So whatever backend has, whatever data backend has, front end can easily access it. And whatever data front end has, backend can easily access it. Getting my point, everyone? So what I'm trying to say is, previously the idea was there is only one app server in which my front end files, my backend files are together. So it's a single computer in which my front end, backend files are together. So if anything is created by front end, backend files can also access it. If anything is created by backend, front end files can also access it. That was the case. This was called as monolithic architecture of creating applications. This was called as what, guys? Monolithic architecture of creating applications. But now what we use, where we have front end separately and back end separately, this is called as the microservices architecture. Is that clear, guys? This is what we call as a microservices architecture. Getting the point, everyone? Front end separate, back end separate as two different applications. Okay, service architecture or microservices architecture, whatever you'd like to call it. The benefit of this is you can have two separate applications which are talking to each other, and the same backend can be used with multiple front ends, and same front end can also call multiple backends. And because of this only, guys, today's world is possible. That is how Instagram can load Facebook things, Facebook can load Instagram things. You can open a Facebook article in your web page. You can open a YouTube video in your web page. That is the reason. That is the reason these stock market applications are working. That is the reason apps like Zerodha and everything can access data from the Bombay Stock Exchange and all that stuff. So if I'm a company, I'll create an API for my data. Let's say I'm a company, okay, and I have some unique data for myself. Let's say my job is to, you know what I do? I go ahead place by place and I do census. I extract population data and people's name, everything. And I create my own API. And I create endpoints. Now you, as a front-end developer, can access my API and create a good-looking application. That's how things work. And multiple people can do it. That is how today's world is possible. That's how from Instagram you can go to Facebook, from Facebook you can go to Google. You can have a Google button on your page. Right? Because of this microservice architecture, everything is possible in now today's world. Understood, guys? So Facebook's front end can talk to Google's backend. Google's front end can talk to Instagram's backend and load whatever they want. Again, only if you allow the access. But that's how things work. Now why? Why I'm telling you this story? Because, right? There's always a reason when I tell you a story. There's always a very important reason behind it. So why I told you all this story here? It's important, but why? So now, guys, see. Focus. So now, you logged in. You send username password from here. It was checked in database. It was correct. So you logged in. Now you're logged in. But you know that connection is closed. Connection is closed, right? So now, after you send username password, okay, and you're logged in and the connection is closed. And now if everything is done, how will the server remember that this was the front-end application which actually is logged in? Because there can be 10,000 front ends which have logged in. So how will server remember that this was the front-end application which was logged in and I have to allow this front-end application to access my create post and delete post? Getting the point? Server has to remember you, right? You sent username password. I checked. Okay, you are there. I sent you a success message. Oh, you are there. But now, stream is closed. Connection done. So now if you send a new request to me, how will I know that you are the correct person? Getting the point, everyone? Getting the idea or not? Think of it like this. Think of it like this. You go to a doctor's place. Okay, now there are a lot of people already sitting in line. Around 10-20 people. And it will take around 3 hours. So now, you say, you just identify yourself that my name is so-and-so and I'm going to come later on. You tell the receptionist, my name is so-and-so. So you authenticate yourself. My name is this, I live here and I'm going to come later on. Okay. So now you say I'm going to come later on, and now let's say you come on next day. Now you expect the receptionist to identify you. How? Like, why receptionist should believe you? Getting the point? Now, They know your face. See, as humans, we know the face. That's why we will remember. But what if you come after 1 year? How will they remember you? As humans, we have tendency to remember face. But what if you come after 1 year? That is why they give you a token. This is your number, 24, with their medical sign and all that stuff. Okay, take this, and next time when you come back, please take this with you and show it to me, and I'll understand that you were here. Even though I don't know your face, from where you come from. You come to me, give your name, I create a token for you. Give you number, write your name, write my name, signature, and take it, go back. And now come wherever you want, come whenever you want, just show me this token. If you show me this token, I will understand that you were the correct person. So when you came first time, you authenticated yourself. You told me that who you are. Then I give you a token. And next time when you want to use any of my service in this clinic, just show me this token. If the token is correct, I'll let you go to the doctor. Same thing here now. When someone sends a login request, good. If the username password is correct, I'll not only send a message that, oh, you're all good, you're logged in. No. I'll also send a uniquely generated token. So I have to now generate a unique token, and I'll send it to that API server or front-end server. Now it's front-end's job to keep that token with itself. Anywhere, I don't care. It's your job. Keep it with yourself. And next time, when you send any request for create post or delete post, please send that token in the request. And before letting you access my create post, I'll check the token. So basically, I'll be having something in between. I know you understand what I'm going to have in between. So before letting you access my main endpoints, I'll be having some functions in between. Now guys, whatever functions we have in between, they are called as what? Middlewares. Yesterday I showed you one middleware which was converting data from request. Now today we'll be again using some more middlewares, which will check if the token that the client is sending is correct or not. Only if it is correct, then I'll let you go to the actual endpoint. Otherwise, I'll block you then and there. I'll block you then and there. Understood, guys? That is the importance of token. And that is the importance of middleware. So that you can stop the request, check it, do something, and then let it go. Or simply send it back from there. You got the idea, guys? Everyone understood what we are doing? So now we have to generate a token and send it back to the client. And client will do something with that token. He will keep it. And then whenever he sends a request, he will send it back. And it's my job as API developer to make a functionality which will check if the token is correct or not. Understood, guys, everyone? Got the idea? And the token, now see guys, there are multiple ways of doing this token logic. Okay, but what we're going to be using is something called as JWT token, which is simply stands for JSON Web Token. A token which internally contains some JSON data. That's why the name is JWT token, JSON Web Token. Okay, and again guys, for that, don't worry, there is a module which will help us. So if you simply search for JSON Web Token JS, you'll get this first one, link. And here everything is mentioned. You can read it here. But don't worry, I'm going to teach you everything. Just showing you that everything is mentioned here. I don't know why it's not loading. What happened, buddy? Why are you not loading? Yeah, now it's loaded. Okay. So you can see all these things here. Okay. So guys, remember, when the user is logging in, and if he is successfully logged in, then we'll sign a token. Signing means creating a token or issuing a token. Call it anything, guys. Signing, issuing, creating. So we're going to sign a token or create a token and send it back to the user. That's the first task. Let's do it. Ready, guys? And also, guys, tell me, does it sound exciting or not? Everyone? Is it sounding exciting or not? Tell me that as well. Come on. You're learning something really great and new. Like one of my very important things. I like this. I like doing this authentication and token logic because mostly it is not available on internet. While learning, I faced a lot of difficulties when I was learning. Okay. Then let's go. So first of all, install the package. Install. The package name is JSON Web Token. Please put the correct name. JSON Web Token without any spaces. Enter. It will take half second. And here we go. Done. Now guys, our job is to first import it. So again, require. And guys, the name is JSON Web token. But now guys, see, we got our first biggest name. It's a very big name and it will be tough for us to use again and again. So simply call it JWT. Okay, guys, please don't change this name. This is the package name. It should not change. You can change the variable name. So I'm calling it JWT. Simple. Now then, let's go here. So here I want to do it. If the username password is correct, here I want to perform, so generate a token and send it back. Guys, yesterday we learned, right, about middlewares. Hopefully you remember it. Middleware is simply a function. Middleware is simply a function which sits between the request and the actual endpoint. There are inbuilt middlewares and you can also create your own middleware. Yesterday I showed you, which has the access to the exact same request response which will be available at the actual endpoint. It has the exact same request response. You can read the request, do something, let it go. You can also block it. So for token checking, we are also going to create our own middleware. Okay, we are going to be creating our own middleware today. Yesterday also I showed you, but today we'll be doing something else. Is that clear, guys, everyone? Okay, so let's go. So guys, for generating token, I'll show you how to read the documentation. So see, very simple. This is the logic. Asynchronous way. Sign asynchronously. There's a function called as sign in which you'll pass some data. Guys, always try to pass data related to the user who is logging in. So that in token also you'll have the idea of who is the user. And you have to pass a private key, a secret key which will be only secret to the developer or the company. Okay. And optionally you can also mention the algorithm that you want to use for token generation. Even if you don't mention it, by default, the algorithm that is used is this one. It is mentioned somewhere. Yep. HS256. If you want to read more about it, it's an encryption algorithm. See. Okay. So then full form, you can also see the full form. It's HMAC with SHA-256. That's why HS. HMAC is one algorithm, SHA is one algorithm. So they are combination of two different algorithms. Okay, so it's very big thing, guys. So this, see, you have to go very deep in this only if you're planning to learn cryptography, where you will be learning how these algorithms works. If you want to go in, network security, then only you have to go very deep in this. As a developer, just try to know about 2-3 algorithms and that is enough. Is that clear, guys? Everyone? That should be enough. Okay. So it's a combination of HMAC and SHA, and 256 is the bytes. Okay. So by default, it does that, but if you want to change it, you can mention it here separately. Where is that? So you can also use the RS, but we'll use the same normal one. But again, just showing you that this option is there if you want to mention it. Okay. So let's generate a token, guys. The function is jwt.sign. First is something related to the user. So guys, you tell me, can we directly use the username or the email? Because that is unique to the user, right? Try to always pass something unique to the user. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to pass the user email. So email usercred.email. Is that clear, guys? So I'm only passing the email. Don't pass the password. No need. Okay, if you by mistakenly pass the unencrypted password, then someone will decrypt the token and they can read it. That's why. Don't pass password or something like that. So I'm simply passing the email, something unique to the user. Okay, that's all. So guys, remember, JWTs are generated with 3 things. Header, okay, header, payload, that is data, and the secret key. JWT tokens are always generated using 3 things. The header, which is the information of the token, the payload, that is the data of the token, and third thing is going to be the secret key. Headers are already defined, so you don't need to mention it. You're passing the payload. That means some unique data for that user who is issuing this token, for whom you're creating the token. Second, pass the secret key. And again, guys, it's up to you. It's up to you. Okay, your company. So let's say I'm passing Thorab as my secret key. Thorab key, something like that. Normally, don't hard code it. Store it in a separate environment file or somewhere and pass it from there, so that it's not directly readable by someone. Okay, but for now, it's okay. For now, it's okay. Is that clear, guys? And then finally, you'll have a function here in which you'll get 2 things. Either error. See, I'm not mentioning the algorithm. I want the by default HS256. So either you will get error or the token. Okay. So error or token. So now, if not error, then let's send the token as a response. So response.send the token. So guys, I'm calling my property as token also, and my value is this. Again, guys, this is just a property. You can call it ABC, whatever you want. But again, guys, you know, right? It doesn't make sense. That's why token. This is my property name, and this is the actual token. And guys, if some issue happens, like again, see everywhere, guys, everywhere, I have not done the error handling. I have not said if error happened. See, if no error, then this. What if there is some error? So guys, for that also you can just apply else and send some problem response. Getting my point? I'm not doing it everywhere, just telling you. So if no error, then perform this. If error, then in else, you can pass a dummy response. Some issue happened, server issue happened, just to give an error message. But I'm sure that nothing will happen like that. That's why I didn't do it. But here, let me do it. If something happened in token generation, just to give you an idea that you can do this. Response.send. I'll send a message. Some issue while creating the token. That's all. Simple. And then please try again after some time. Something like that. Leave that. Okay, done guys. Done. That's what creation is. So if the user is there and if the password is also correct, generate a token, and if there is no error in generating, send that token back. If there's an issue, then some issue while creating. And now guys, time to test it. Let's go. Let's perform login. So now guys, we know this is the correct username password. Send. And guys, okay, I think my application is not running. So sorry. Let's run our application quickly. And here we go. And see guys, you got a token. And guys, JWTs, see how to identify if something is a JWT. Very simple. It will always be three set of characters separated by dots. See, first dot, second dot, third. Always. So remember guys, a JWT is created using headers and what do you say? Payload. And what else was that? I told you, secret key. In our JWT logic, header is already there. We're only passing two things, payload, which is data, and secret key. And your JWT will always look like this. Is that cleared, everyone? Hope you got the idea. And now see guys, even if someone finds this token, first of all, no one should find. Make sure that you're a good front-end developer so that no one finds it. But even if someone finds this token, and if they decrypt it, they can only see the username. And that's fine. They can only see the email. That's fine. Email is public, right everyone? Email is already public, so it's okay. So guys, are you understanding everything till now or not? We have got the token, and now we need to do the final thing. Okay. Now we need to do the final thing, which is, let's create an endpoint, a very secret endpoint. The endpoint which I don't want anyone to access. Now see guys, please don't make your login and registration endpoints private, because they should be public. Anyone can log in or sign up. But now, I'm creating a dummy endpoint, guys. I'm creating one dummy endpoint, which I want that no one should be able to access without the token. That means it should be only accessible if you have logged in. So let's create an endpoint. App dot, let's say a simple get request. It's okay. Slash, let's call it as get data. Okay. And guys, right now, no important, some dummy thing is fine. Because I'm just showing you how to secure the endpoint. Whatever you're doing inside the endpoint, that's your job, right? That's up to us. We can do whatever we want. Access database, delete product, delete the whole company's database. It's up to you. I'm not telling you to delete your company's database. Up to you. Do it at your own risk. Don't do it, guys. Just kidding. Don't do it. Okay? Bad thing. Okay, fine. But again, I'm just trying to say, do whatever you want inside. Doesn't matter. So response.send. I am a bad developer with a good heart. Okay, that means we can do bad things, something like that. Okay, good. Again, I'm just putting a lot of lame jokes here, but it's okay. Okay, so now guys, we have this endpoint. Right now, this endpoint is public. That means anyone can access it. Let me show you. Because see, have we done any security? No. So, if I go now and try to access this endpoint, let me show you. If I go and try to access this endpoint, a get request on get data, you can see it's accessible. See, you got the data back. Right guys, everyone? That means right now this is the public endpoint. Correct everyone? Got the idea? So now what I want to make sure is, no. If you're accessing this endpoint, first you have to let me know that you have token or not. So for that guys, we are gonna create a middleware which will block the request from coming directly here. Now I really hope guys, yesterday we learned in depth on how to create your own middleware, right? Same thing guys, exactly same thing. So we'll get a function, let's call it as verify token. Again guys, function name can be anything. As I told you, a middleware function also receives the exact same request object, exact same response object, and one extra function which is called as next. So whatever request response object you're getting here, you get the exact same object here. That means whatever you can do inside here, you can also do inside here. But it's your job to understand what to do. Okay, everyone? And I'm going to call this function in here, right? That's how you call the middleware. So I'm saying that before calling this endpoint, I want this middleware to work. I want this middleware to sit between the request, which is coming on this URL, which is trying to access this endpoint. I want this middleware to sit between that. And now what to do, I'm going to decide. Is that clear, everyone, guys? Understood? So I want the user, if you want to access this endpoint, please send the token in the request. So how a token is sent? Let me show you. Token is also sent via headers. So this is the token that we generated, guys. So if someone wants to access the endpoint, I'm expecting that you will send me that token. And guys, token is sent via headers. So you have to go in headers now. In request headers, go in request header. Don't worry about the headers. Keep them. It's okay. Generate your own header now. And guys, token is always sent in the header named as authorization. Okay. So guys, see, what you're doing is, you're letting the user know, you're letting the user use an endpoint based on if he is the correct person or not. This concept is what we call as authorization. Letting someone use something based on their roles, based on their who they are. Like for example, something like, let's say I go in a company. Now it's CEO's job to stop or start the server. I'm not allowed. So he is authorized to do that. I am not. It's the CEO's job to take any laptop and go home. I cannot do that. Getting the point? That is what we call as authorization. Someone having right to do something. So I only want someone to access this endpoint who is having token. That means I want only the authorized user. And who is the authorized user? Anyone with the token is an authorized user. Got the idea, guys? This process is what you call as authorization. Only letting the people access the endpoint who have the token, who are authorized to access. That's why the concept is called as authentication and authorization. So there's a difference. Authentication means checking for a valid user. Authorization means allowing a valid user to use some resources. Got the idea? That's the difference between authentication. Sometimes people get confused. That's why I just wanted to make it clear here. Okay. So guys, that's why the token is also sent in the header called as authorization. So guys, here to send the token, use authorization, and in the value, please don't forget, pass a value called as bearer. Why? Because you're the token bearer. You have the token. So this process is called as bearer token authentication, authorization. So you have to pass bearer space your token. That's it, guys. That's what you do. Bearer space token. Okay, full token. Bearer space token. That's all. So you're sending authorization header. So see guys, already there are some headers going internally. Don't worry about them. You're sending one more header, authorization, and in that, this. Yes, you should always include bearer. See, you can also work without bearer, but that is not how JWT should work. So you have to follow some rules. See guys, there are a lot of things here that I can personally change. But again, rules, right? Everyone, there are some conventions that we follow. So it's a rule to always pass this. Because right now it's my API server. So I have the ownership of doing anything. But in reality, if you're using some other API and if they are using the same logic, then you'll fail. That's why this is the universal convention that we follow. This bearer means that I'm the token bearer. I have the token. That's why bearer. Okay. So bearer, one space only and then your token. And again, guys, the API developer will always tell you the rules. So it's okay. So guys, now you're sending a header in the request. So guys, as I've told you, whatever is coming in the request, in which object is available? Either the URL data or the body data, request body data, or the header. Whatever is coming in the request, I think on the first day only I told you, whatever is coming in the request is always available in the request object. Even my URL data, which I read using request.params.url data. If it is a body data, then I use request.body. Even my headers are available in this. So let me show you. Okay. So console.log, your request object has a property called as headers, in which all the headers coming in the request you can read. And let's send a dummy response coming from middleware. Now let me ask you a question, guys. Now if someone calls this endpoint, they will first go in middleware. They will not go to the actual endpoint. We know that. They will first go to the middleware. Correct. Now tell me, from this middleware, if I have this code, from this middleware, will they ever go to the endpoint? Or they will be back from here only? Let's see if you can answer according to what you have understood. Will they go to the actual endpoint or will they come back? We know, right? They will come back. Why? Why, guys? Because we have not used the next function. Next function is what moves it forward. Exactly. And right now, we don't want to move it forward. We want to do our job first. Okay, we don't want to move it forward. So leave that. We don't want to move it forward right now. So, but at least we know. So that's good. We know. That's good. So first of all, let's see. So guys, right now this token will work, okay? If someone tried to access this endpoint, they will not go to the actual endpoint. They will go to this function. And from that function, it is never letting it go to this main endpoint. So we'll be coming back from here. And that's fine. For now, it's fine. Let's check it out. So send. And see that? You're getting coming from middleware. That means you're coming from the middleware. You're not going to the actual endpoint. You're coming from the middleware. So that's okay. What I want to show you is, see this, guys. We have printed all the headers. See that? Everyone. So see, accept header, host header, connection header. See, internally some headers are sent, which even we don't use. As I told you always, some headers are sent internally between client and server, and some are mentioned by us. And what we are interested in right now is the authorization header. So guys, see, I have done request.headers, which is printing an object, which is collection of all the headers. So I want to access only this first header. Again, guys, you can access any header you want, up to you, depending on the need. But I want to access this header. So request.headers is an object, collection of headers. I want to access the authorization header. So request.headers is an object dot I want to access its authorization property, which is this one, which will give me this value. Let's see if it is working. Send. And now we should be only getting the data, not the header. See guys, now you're only getting whatever is in the token. You sent message string for first time. This one, right? Yeah, that's fine because right now it's a dummy response. We'll change it. No issues. Yes, Rishikesh. It's just a dummy response. That's why a simple string. Send is allowed to send anything. In end, we can only send strings. In send, JavaScript data, array of objects, simple string, anything is allowed. Express. Okay. So now guys, you got this. Now from this, I want to extract my token. So guys, see, this is just a big string. That's all. If you split it, if you use the JavaScript split function and you split it based on space, you will get an array on which bearer will be on the 0th index and token will be on the 2nd index. Correct, guys? Everyone? So what we'll do is we'll split. Dot split the string based on space. And now you will see that you're getting an array of, that's what split is, right, everyone? Remember JavaScript split. So I'm splitting the string, this whole string, based on space. So I'm getting this as my first index and this is my second index, which is 0 and 1. So 0th, on 0th we have bearer, on 1 we have token. And I only want to access 1. I'm using the shortcut, guys. This is basic JavaScript, not even Node.js. And now I should only get my token. So send. And guys, now from the headers, we have extracted only the token which we want to check. And that's it. You got the exact token. So guys, let's store it in a token variable. So let token. Okay guys, you got the token, everyone, coming from the header. And now you want to verify the token, if it is correct or not. So let's go and let's do it. So again, guys, let's go to the browser because I want to show you. So this was for creating token, JWT.sign. Now if you go down here, you'll also get how to verify it. It's very simple, guys. I know the function, but I want to show you. See, this is the one. JWT.verify, pass the token, pass the key that you passed while creating the token. And that's it. You'll get the either error or the decoded token. If there is no error, that means token is correct. If there is error, that means token is incorrect. So error comes if the token is incorrect. So let's use this. So here I'm going to do this. See, here we created the token. Here. And now here we're going to verify it. So JWT dot verify. First pass the token that you received from header. Second, pass the exact same key that you passed while creating the token, which was Thorab key. So pass that here. And then a function in which you'll get error or the decoded data. So let's call it as data. Same thing. And now guys, if no error, then I want to let you go to the next endpoint. So guys, how do we send it? Everyone, tell me. What do we use to send it to the actual endpoint where it was intending to go? We simply call what? Next. That means there is no error, so token is good. Go ahead, all good. But if there is an error, then from here only I'll send a response. Invalid token. Please log in again. Is that clear, guys? That's all. Done. You're done. And also, if you want to print, guys, you can see before sending it, you can also print the data coming back. You can also see what's coming in the data. And now let's check it, guys. Let's see if it is working then. So now we should receive the response, which is coming from what? Okay, first of all, remove this. So if the token is incorrect, we'll receive invalid token. If the token is correct, then the data will be printed and we'll move on to the next endpoint, which is this. And then we should get this response. Let's see. So token is correct, send, and here we go, guys. I'm a bad developer with a good heart. Got the actual response. So middleware checked it. It was correct. It lets you go to the next endpoint, main endpoint, and you got this response. But if I make a mistake in token, let's go. I'll just remove a C from here. Or let me just remove this first E from here. That's it. Only one E removed. Wrong token. Send. And see. Invalid token, please log in again. Got it, guys, everyone? That's how things work. You have done it, everyone. You have done it. And if you see the console, guys, in your data, you get back what you inserted. Remember, guys, while generating the token, you inserted some data. Email, which was user email. So while verifying the token, you again get the same data back. but with only one thing, which was the issue time. Timestamp when the token was created, you also get that. Okay, that's it. So guys, now you know how to perform token authentication. Now you can see this is only one endpoint. You can create 10 endpoints and pass the same middleware to all the 10 endpoints. So now all the 10 endpoints will be protected, and the person will need token to access those endpoints. And the person can get only token, like person can get token only if they first log in, otherwise they can't. Is it clear, guys? Everyone? Are we cleared with this? Can you please repeat? Creating token. Creating was done half an hour back. Utpal. Okay, I'll repeat it, don't worry. I'll do that. But I think you should watch the video again because it was done half an hour back. So I think you missed half an hour. See, creation is very simple. You just need a package called as JSON Web Token. Okay, JWT. I've named it JWT. And once the login is successful, you just have to do JWT.sign. Pass some data unique to that user. I'm passing email. So whatever user is signing up, pass some data unique to that user. Some secret key, which is up to you. And then in that, it will generate a token. So if there is no error, your token will be generated. And if it is generated, I'm sending it back to the user. And to verify it, I'm doing this. Verify, pass the token which is you're receiving from the header, and then pass the secret key which you exactly passed while creating a token. And then if there is no error, it's good. You can use the data, and I'm sending it forward. Okay, go to the endpoint. Otherwise, invalid token. So all cleared, guys, everyone? Please confirm that. Are we cleared? Now, guys, one more thing. See, for every response, even if it is a wrong response, error response, we are getting 200 okay. And that's not good. See, bad response, good response. A response is a response. So by default, my server is sending every response as okay, good, okay. Because every response is a response. So even if it is a problematic response, it's okay. So I don't want that. I want to send different status codes for different response, so that it's easier for the client to understand. Now, if you remember, guys, on second day only we discussed status codes are nothing but numbers, which help the client to identify what kind of error is going on easily, much more easily by just using the numbers. Right now, every response is going with 200 because everything is a successful response. But I want to change it. So let's see. Let me show you how to send your own status code. Because by default, response.send sends 200. Even if it is a wrong response, invalid token. So let's see how to change status code. And for that, first of all, understand what should be the status code for an invalid token. Let me see. And guys, again, don't remember it. Just search it. Just search status code for invalid token. It should be, if you read it, it should be 401. Got it, guys? So now, while sending this response, before send, add one more property called as status. I don't know why the hint is not coming. Status. So response.status.send, and I'm going to mention 401 here. Save it. And now let me show you. So if it is 200, no need to mention 200. By default, it's 200. But if it is anything else, please mention it. So 401. Now let's check it. Now if I send this, see that invalid token, and your response code is now 401 unauthorized. Let me also show you, guys. Response code for successful creation. It is 201. 201. That means, see, when I log in, when I register myself, that is also giving me what, guys? 200. So again, come here as well. When the user registration is successful, that means created. Simple. So please send status 201. And guys, see, this is only if the query fails. Correct? This catch will only work if the query fails. So if the query fails, that is server issue. That is server issue. Right? So for that, what we'll do is simply send status 500, which is internal server error, because we don't want the user to know what's going on. My query failed, my database server got some issues. So just 500, internal server error. So if you ever feel that you just want to print some problem, that means you don't want the user to tell exact problem, 500, internal server error, something happened at the server, I don't know. Is that clear, guys? Everyone, so see. Now you can also check response code for successful login. Okay, let's check it. What is it? 200. So yeah, by default 200, so no issues. It's 200 only. So leave that. So guys, are we cleared? That's how you have to research about what you're doing and what kind of status code should be there. Is that cleared, everyone? And just mention it like this, .status.send. So in the status, you can mention the status. So guys, are we cleared with the whole process of registering, hashing the password, and then login, generating the token? Okay, and here also, guys, you can send status of 500, internal server error, if the token generation failed. That's it. And yeah, for incorrect password also you can send. Like, you know, see, if there is wrong email, that means user was not found. Correct, guys? So for that, you should send status of 404. Wrong email, no user found. Simple, 404, right, everyone? So if there is wrong email while logging in, 404, wrong email, no user found. And you can also check what is for incorrect password. So let's say user was found, but password was incorrect. Check it. Response code for incorrect password. It's also 401. So it's okay. You can also send 401. Okay. So guys, see, that's how you create a proper good looking API. And guys, see, you know, there is only one thing that will stop you in mastering all this. And I think you know what is that, right? Lack of practice. I'm able to do it so fluently because I have done it around, I don't know, maybe 60, 70 times in projects and while teaching. That's why I'm able to do it so fluently. Even I have to refer some things. So understand, you have to at least practice it 10, you know, not 10, 15 times, but in every project. But for now, at least practice it once or twice. And then after that, in different projects, you can apply it. Some websites send web pages or images when there is error. How to do that? No, they don't send web pages. Now, see, I'm not saying that sending web pages are not possible, but they don't send web pages. They send this error. Based on this error, the front-end server generates that web page. Getting the point? Just like front-end server, when it gets data from API, it generates a good-looking web page, right? Where you can see the data, products and all that stuff. Just like that, when the API server sends 404, front-end server generates a web page, 404 not found. Got the idea, Rishikesh? So it is different. The idea is different. So normally API doesn't send the not found page. API simply sends a status, not found. Now you, front-end server, your job is to generate a page. So guys, I hope we are cleared with all the thing that we have done so far. And guys, please, it's my kind request to you, at least practice what we have learned today and yesterday. If you don't practice that, then the project that we're going to be building tomorrow will be a little tough for you. Okay? So please, now take this time, forget about the old things, because those things helped us to learn this. Now your main focus is this. Okay? So please, just sit and practice registration, encryption, hashing, login, generating tokens, and also creating some endpoints for get data and get products and create product. See all the endpoints we created yesterday. Now guys, you tell me, all the endpoints we created yesterday, can't we secure them with this logic then? Can't we just perform registration and login and then secure all those endpoints with the same verify token middleware? Can't we do that? You tell me, can't we do that? So we had 5 endpoints yesterday. So we can create 2 more endpoints, registration, login, and then generate token, and the other 5 endpoints for get products, create products, update product, delete product, we can secure them using the verify token. So guys, please, I'm requesting you to practice. Please, please, please do that, so that we can create tomorrow's nutrition API. It's going to be very important. It's going to be big. So please be prepared for that as well. Guys, tomorrow's session might also go till 2 hours or 2.5 hours. So please be ready. It's a project session. And guys, please, if possible, invite your friends and colleagues as well. If possible. Do invite your friends and colleagues. Hi, Vasu. How are you, buddy? You joined at the end today. So guys, tomorrow's day is completely about project. So please invite your friends and colleagues. And guys, it will be the culmination or combination of all the things that we have learned so far. So guys, so far, and guys, yes, now if you even only know this much, you are an API developer. I'm not talking about any other things. Any other things you have to definitely learn. But if you just practice and master what we have learned in the last 7 days, trust me, you are an API developer. Trust me. Because if you know how to handle requests, send responses, divide your code properly, you are an API developer. Proper handling of headers, verifying headers, all that stuff, you're an API developer. Only thing is, now you have to master it a little bit by practicing and learn more about how to optimize your code and divide your code. But all those things are secondary. First thing is gaining the skill. Polishing it, making it look good is secondary. Okay. Some reasons can't see live but download and see. Okay, that's amazing, Vasu. Thank you so much. Please do watch it before tomorrow's project. So yep, guys, that's all for today. Thank you so much. I hope, see, today's session was, I know, a little bit complicated. Not complicated, but you know, a little bit tougher than all the things that we have learned so far. But again, guys, we are moving towards advanced topic. It will get a little tricky, right? We are at the advanced topics. Because if it was very easy, then everyone will be doing it. But I'm not saying that everyone can't do it. With enough understanding, enough practice, right guidance, anyone in this world can become a developer. Trust me. With enough guidance, right practice, enough practice, right guidance, anyone can become a developer. Some people will take 1 year, some people might take 6 months, some people might take 2 months. But trust me, initially it might be a little easy. At some point of time, it will become tricky. Like these things are tricky. And these are the points where people leave things. They understand basics. Oh, good. Everything is good. But when they come to this point, they think, oh, it's getting tough. And then they leave it. This is the point where you have to sit, put your mind and practice. Okay? And break things down properly. Frankly speaking, I felt bored, but also because of you learned all. Oh, that's great. Why did you get bored, Utpal? Because there were so many things today? Yes, Vasu, it's there. It's there. It's an essential session, it's there. Why, Utpal, why did you get bored today? What happened? Was the session not good? I know it was long. And sometimes things will get long. And sometimes, guys, also remember, sometimes you'll face things which will bore you a little bit, like long topics like this. And again, it's perspective. It depends on people to people. But again, push yourself, practice enough, and it will be good. Okay, because of the topics I don't like. So you don't like these topics. But again, you have to practice it. Trust me, once you practice it and do it, you'll like it. Because initially, when I was also a student, these things were not good for me. I was also, avoiding these things. I used to create basic stuff and avoid these things because it was very tough for me to understand initially. But once I practiced, understood things in deep, it became very important for me. Important part of my life, doing all these things, providing proper security to my APIs. That's great, Utpal. That's great, buddy. Yep. So, yep, guys, that's all from today. Now then, I'll be seeing you directly in the project tomorrow. So, be ready and please invite your friends and colleagues as well. And guys, if you're new, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Okay. And yes, authentication is important. It is a core part of any application. So, sometimes it sounds boring. See, things till the time they are easy, it's okay. But things, when they get tougher, we get the feeling, oh, it's tough, it's so much code, it's long, it's boring. But that is the place where your patience gets tested. So yeah, good day. No issues, guys. So see you tomorrow, everyone. please sit and practice this and what we learned yesterday. At least, please practice. And guys, WhatsApp channel link is in the description. Please join the WhatsApp channel link as well so that you can get the updates. And please follow the Instagram as well. And that's it, guys. I'll see you all tomorrow. And I hope that you're enjoying the session so far. If you're, please like the video. And that's it. No, 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 Vasu, no. No. I'm still very small. You can say that. Okay, bye-bye everyone. Bye-bye Vasu, Rishikesh, Subhashini. Bye-bye guys. Good night everyone. Bye-bye. Good night.